All right, there's a new baseball app out there right now. It is called UP17, and it allows young baseball players to upload their video and receive personalized, telestrated instruction from former players like Dale Murphy and Paul LaDuca. And our guest tonight, he is an 11-year baseball vet and one-time member of the Mets. Desi Relaford joining us in studio. Thanks for coming in and talking about this.
Hey, Steve. Thanks a lot for having me, man.
Well, video instruction is nothing new.
Sure.
But here's the thing. You're getting personalized, telestrated instruction via your smartphone, right?
Right. Or iPad or whatever. I think it's a great concept. I think we're going to be able to affect a lot of kids and help a lot of kids by the technology.
I mean, is there a common thread between something these kids, whether it's, little leaguers to high schoolers to college, is there a common mistake that you're seeing when you're looking at these kids' swings?
Oh yeah, a lot of guys, especially young hitters, have a long swing. Meaning their hands are getting away from their body instead of being in a more direct path towards it. And I think a lot of that is because they've been able to get away with it. They're not facing guys who are throwing 90 miles an hour and mixing up speeds and stuff, and they can get away with it. So me being able to instruct them and teach them the right way to do it, I think it's priceless for a kid to be able to send in a video and have a credentialed major leaguer such as myself and the guys you mentioned to have a look at what you're doing and instruct you, fix what you're doing, give you some ideas on how to do it as far as drills and instruction, and from that point on you have a minimum of a 5-minute review.
Right.
That allows you can go back and refer to this at any point in time in your life, and you have it. So,
well, what happens though when your advice conflicts with their coach's advice? Because it could happen.
There's no conflicting advice. I know more than that guy, more than likely.
Right.
There's a pretty good chance I know more than that guy. So, if that guy's coming, if he's coming to us, the coach isn't doing a good job.
Yeah, exactly. Baseball is known for its tradition and its history, and a little bit slower to embrace technology until now, though. I mean, now we're seeing instant replays. Managers are going to have iPads in the dugout starting now. So do you think baseball is starting to embrace technology?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you can see it, with MLB.com doing all their metrics during games, showing how fast a guy's running, how far he ran to get a ball, or how hard.
Speed velocity.
Guys are coming off of the field. There's a reporter in the dugout. Fans are interested in wanting to know what's happening inside the game, and the technology provides that. It's a platform for people to get into, the pitcher's mound when the pitcher comes out and the pitching coach comes out and talks to the manager or the pitcher. People want to hear what's going on in that.
Yeah, and if baseball wants to embrace a new generation, you might as well communicate with them on the devices that they use on a day-to-day basis.
Without a doubt. And, kids, I have 2 kids of my own, and they're always
their heads down.
They're at a 45-degree angle, and their thumbs are just going at it.
Well, you might as well teach them something while they're in there.
Teach them something, So the fact that that format that's where kids are at now. And we can reach anybody, not just the kids that I do lessons with in my neighborhood or my city. I can reach kids in Hong Kong or Italy or wherever.
Part of your 11-year history was with the New York Mets. You were with the team in 2001 and what was expected to be a World Series contending team, but obviously that year was overshadowed by the events on 9/11. The Mets were in Pittsburgh at that time. Take us through what happened on that day for you.
Well, it was like any other normal morning after a game. You're sleeping in, you're out late from the game, you come in, you sleep late. So my phone was just buzzing. I was getting a lot of calls, beeps, and I'm just ignoring it. I decided to pick up. My dad left a message saying, hey, I'm just, I'm just calling to see if you're okay. I just thought that was weird. He didn't say why. He just, whatever. Then I had another friend call and say, hey man, they're, what's going on over there? They're blowing stuff up. What's happening? I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? So I turn on the TV, and what do I see? The towers getting hit with planes. And it was just it was haunting. It was an uncanny, surreal type feeling. And put everybody in panic mode. So it wasn't like we just kind of chilled and were figuring out what we were going to do. Our hotel was next to a federal building of some sort. So they
didn't worry that you could be a target.
Right, or that building or anywhere close, because there was another plane that had gone down in Pennsylvania, which wasn't too far away from where we were. So they packed us up away from downtown and everything, and drove us out about an hour or two away and put us in a hotel for a few days until everything calmed down. And then, once we, they just, we knew that we weren't going to be playing. We drive back home, and that night, driving into the city was creepy. Driving in, it's dark, and you could just see this kind of a glow and the smoke just hovering above the city, and it was, nobody was on the street. I mean, this is New York, one of the most bustling cities in the world, and there was nobody out. And that was scary in itself, like a scene from a movie or something. So that time, it was tough to deal with. It was a super quiet bus ride. I mean, we probably drove, I don't know how far it is from Pittsburgh to here, but there wasn't a whole lot of talking, and especially once we got into the city.
But baseball was a reason to celebrate once again, and that was Mike Piazza's maybe most iconic moment in his history with that home run on September 21st, and you were there for that. In fact, you had an interesting perspective. You were on base.
I was on base. Yeah, I was put in a pitch run right before that. But just to get back to that night, we were playing the Braves. Obviously, we hate the Braves. Hated rivalry, but that night there was love in the atmosphere between us, them, the fans. I mean, the stadium was packed. It was rocking. I think Liza Minnelli sang the national anthem. It was just one of the most amazing events I'd ever been a part of, and everybody was pulling for us. Everybody was pulling for us, and for him to come up at that point in time and hit that home run, it was huge.
It was huge for the city. It
for
was
the
huge
city,
for
everyone.
the nation.
It gave, and for
even some of the Braves had to at least appreciate that moment.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, after that game, it wasn't a normal, like, hey, we won, we walked off. I mean, after the game, we walked across like a high school game, shook hands, we're hugging, the other team, and it was special. It was special.
And I think that we all see that as such a special game, such an important game. And now, if you've seen the story of his jersey from that night is now up for auction, the Mets let that go. Some people think that jersey should be hanging up in the Mets museum, if you will. What should the final destination for that jersey be? It shouldn't be in someone's man cave.
Without a doubt. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I think in a perfect world, it should be with the Mets and their 9/11 memorial at the stadium. It just makes sense. The Mets jersey, Mike's big hit, he signed it. I think that's where it should be.
You can upload UP17 in the App Store right now and get instruction from Desi Relaford himself. Desi, thanks for sharing all of your stuff with us. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate being here and giving me the opportunity to spread the word about UP17. We're looking for big things from it, and hopefully this interview will help.